Hello and welcome to Astronomy Daily, your daily dose of what's happening in the cosmos. I'm Avery.
And I'm Anna. It is Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2026, and this is Season 5, Episode 60, which means 60 episodes of bringing you the universe, one day at a time.
60 episodes this year. That's a lot of space news. And today's lineup is not letting up. We've got neutron stars colliding in places nobody expected, a potential cosmic snowball fight between asteroids, and a giant invisible sheet of dark matter that explains one of astronomy's longest-running mysteries.
Plus, the latest on Artemis II, Starship's next giant leap, and a rocket that can't seem to get off the ground, but not for lack of trying.
Stay with us. It's a big one.
We start today with one of the most remarkable astronomy announcements in recent memory, and it literally involves gold.
That's right. NASA has just published a major new finding. A fleet of its space telescopes has likely detected a collision between two neutron stars, and the location where this happened has stunned researchers.
So let's back up for listeners who might not be familiar with neutron stars. These are the remnants left behind when a massive star burns out, collapses on itself, and explodes in a supernova. What's left is this tiny, unbelievably dense ball, about the width of a city, but containing more mass than our entire sun.
And when two of those collide, which is called a neutron-star merger, it produces one of the most violent events in the universe. We're talking gamma-ray bursts, gravitational waves rippling through space-time, and something called a kilonova explosion. That's the process that forges heavy elements, things like gold, silver, and platinum, through a chain of nuclear reactions that can't happen anywhere else in the cosmos.
We've seen these mergers before, but always inside large or moderately sized galaxies. That's what makes this discovery so jaw-dropping. This one was found inside a tiny, faint galaxy, barely there, tucked inside a vast stream of gas, 4.7 billion light-years away, a location nobody thought to look.
The lead researcher, Simone de Chiara of Penn State University, called it, quote, game-changing, saying it may unlock not one, but two important questions in astrophysics. One is why gamma-ray bursts sometimes appear in the middle of nowhere, not near any galaxy at all, and the other is how precious metals ended up in stars at the very outer fringes of galaxies.
The answer, it seems, is that small wandering galaxies like this one can form from the debris of larger galactic collisions and eventually produce their own neutron stars, which then merge. Co-author Eleonora Troia of the University of Rome put it beautifully. We found a collision within a collision. The galaxy collision triggered star formation, which over hundreds of millions of years led to the neutron star merger we just detected.
4 space telescopes were involved in making this discovery: Chandra, Fermi, the Neil Gehrels Swift Observatory, and Hubble. It took all of them working together to pinpoint the location and confirm what they were seeing. The paper has just been published in the Astrophysical Journal Letters.
So, the gold in your jewelry, it may have come from a tiny galaxy in a gas stream after a chain of collisions spanning billions of years. I think that's one of the most extraordinary facts in all of science.
Puts a new spin on where did this come from, doesn't it? Okay, coming up next, an update on Artemis II, the mission that is almost ready to fly.
So, Artemis II. If you've been following the show, you know this mission has had quite a journey just to get to the launch pad. And today, there's a significant development.
NASA has announced it will hold a Flight Readiness press conference tomorrow, Thursday, March 12th, at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This is the formal milestone where engineers and mission leaders assess whether everything is technically ready to fly. It's a big deal.
Just to bring everyone up to speed, Artemis II is the first crewed mission of NASA's Space Launch System. 4 astronauts, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will fly around the moon and back on a 10-day journey. It will be the first time humans have reached the moon's vicinity since Apollo 17 in 1972.
The mission has had a series of delays. Back in February, a hydrogen leak was found during a wet dress rehearsal. Then, after a second successful rehearsal, a helium flow issue was discovered in the upper stage, which caused the rocket to be rolled back into the vehicle assembly building for repairs. That pushed the launch out of March entirely.
The current target is April 1st at the earliest, with rollout back to Launch Complex 39B expected around March 19th. NASA has also announced a major restructuring of the broader Artemis program, adding a new mission, increasing launch cadence, and targeting annual lunar missions, with the first crewed landing in 2028.
So tomorrow's press conference will be really telling. We'll know more about the state of the rocket, the official launch readiness verdict, and possibly more details on that April launch window. We'll of course have full coverage as the story develops.
Fingers crossed for April. The crew has been in training for years. They deserve their moonshot.
They absolutely do. Let's take a short break and come back with a story about a rocket trying very hard to leave the ground and a cosmic snowball fight nobody saw coming.
All right, Firefly Aerospace. The small launch company has been trying to get its Alpha rocket back into the sky for weeks, and once again, the mission has been delayed.
The mission is called Stairway to 7, which refers to this being Alpha's 7th flight overall. It was originally scheduled for March 1st, but high winds scrubbed that attempt. Then, on March 9th, a sensor reading outside the expected range caused another stand-down. And last night, March 10th, a third attempt was scrubbed during fluid loading after off-normal readings were detected.
No new launch date has been announced yet. Firefly says they're reviewing the data and will confirm a new window once the investigation is complete.
Now, it's worth understanding why this mission matters. Alpha has had a rough run. The 6th flight, called Message in a Booster, ended when the first stage broke apart just after separation, destroying the payload. Then in September, a booster intended for Flight 7 exploded during ground testing. The company has been working for nearly 10 months to get back to the launch pad.
And Stairway to 7 is carrying significant symbolic weight. It's the last flight of the Alpha Block 1 configuration. After this, Firefly moves to the upgraded Block 2, which is 7 feet taller, uses new in-house avionics and batteries, improved thermal protection, and stronger carbon composite structures. Block 2 systems are actually flying on this mission in shadow mode, testing quietly in the background without controlling the flight.
Firefly also had a big success recently. Their Blue Ghost lander completed the first ever private lunar surface mission last March. So the company's in an interesting position, proven on the moon, but still working through reliability challenges with their launch vehicle.
Small launch is hard. We're rooting for them. When Stairway to 7 eventually gets off the ground, we'll give it the full coverage it deserves.
Absolutely. Now, cosmic snowballs. You heard that right.
So you might remember NASA's DART mission, the spacecraft that intentionally smashed into an asteroid in 2022 to test whether we could deflect one that might threaten Earth. It worked beautifully, as we reported last week.
But scientists are still finding new surprises in the data from that mission, and this one is genuinely delightful. A team at the University of Maryland has just published a study revealing that asteroids can throw slow-moving chunks of debris at each other in what they're calling, and I love this, a cosmic snowball fight.
So here's what happened. The DART spacecraft hit an asteroid moon called Dimorphos, which orbits a larger asteroid called Didymos. In the images captured by the spacecraft in the moments before impact, researchers noticed something odd: faint fan-shaped streaks across Dimorphos.
Lead author Jessica Sunshine said, and this quote is great, "At first, we thought something was wrong with the camera, and then we thought it could have been something wrong with our image processing. But after months of painstaking work, stripping away boulder shadows and correcting for lighting, the streaks became clearer, not fainter. They were real."
What the team discovered is that these streaks are the imprint of debris thrown off Didymos by something called the YORP effect, where sunlight gradually spins a small asteroid faster and faster until loose material flies off the surface. Some of that material then drifts across to Dimorphos and lands on it, leaving these distinctive ray patterns.
And the speed of this material transfer? Just 30.7 centimeters per second.
That's slower than a leisurely human walk. These are the gentlest cosmic snowballs imaginable.
It's the first direct visual proof that material can travel naturally from one asteroid to another. And it has real implications for planetary defense. If binary asteroids are constantly exchanging material and reshaping each other, scientists need to account for that when modeling how to deflect one.
There's also a follow-up mission on the way. ESA's Hera spacecraft is set to arrive at the Didymos system in December this year, and may be able to see whether those fan-shaped streaks survived the DART impact, or whether new ones have formed. More cosmic forensics to come.
A snowball fight spanning millions of years between two rocks in the dark of space. I love this job.
After this break, Starship is getting even bigger, and we go looking for the giant invisible sheet of matter that may be holding our cosmic neighborhood together.
SpaceX's Starship program is marching on, and the next milestone is approaching fast.
Elon Musk announced this week that SpaceX is approximately 4 weeks away from launching Starship Flight 12, which will be the first flight of the upgraded Starship V3 configuration, the most powerful version of the vehicle yet.
SpaceX engineers have been working through propellant system tests on Ship 39. That's the newest vehicle. And some of those tests produced some spectacular imagery this week. The team is moving methodically through pre-flight preparations at Starbase in Texas.
Now, Starship V3 is described as a significant step up. The rocket already holds the title of the most powerful launch vehicle ever built, and the V3 configuration pushes that capability further, which is critical for the missions ahead, including NASA's Artemis lunar landings, where a Starship variant will be used as the human landing system.
Flight 12 won't carry the Artemis lander, of course. That's further down the road. But each integrated flight test builds toward that goal, demonstrating reliability, reusability, and the ability to handle increasingly complex mission profiles.
So if all goes to plan, we're looking at mid to late April for Flight 12 liftoff. We'll keep a close eye on that timeline and give you the full launch preview when the date firms up.
The pace of development at SpaceX is extraordinary. And now, to cap off today's show, a cosmic mystery that's been puzzling astronomers for decades, and it might finally be solved.
Here's a question that sounds simple. If our galaxy is so massive and has such a powerful gravitational pull, why are most nearby galaxies flying away from us rather than being pulled inward?
It's something that's bugged astronomers for decades. Edwin Hubble established almost a century ago that the universe is expanding. Galaxies are receding from each other as space itself stretches. But the galaxies right next to us, just outside our local group, seem to be moving away faster than they should, even accounting for that expansion. Something wasn't adding up.
A team from the University of Groningen in the Netherlands, working with collaborators in Germany, France, and Sweden, may have cracked it. They built what they call a virtual twin of our cosmic neighborhood, running advanced simulations starting from the early universe, based on conditions measured in the cosmic microwave background all the way through to today.
What they found is remarkable. The matter surrounding the local group, our cluster of galaxies including the Milky Way and Andromeda, isn't spread out evenly in a sphere the way scientists had assumed. Instead, it's organized into a vast, flat sheet of matter, stretching tens of millions of light years across. Above and below this sheet lie enormous empty voids, where there's essentially nothing.
And when they included this flat structure in their models, the motion of 31 nearby galaxies matched almost perfectly with what astronomers actually observe. The sheet's mass, which is mostly invisible dark matter, counterbalances the local group's gravitational pull. So galaxies within the plane drift outward in an orderly way, while nothing falls in from the voids above and below.
Lead researcher Ewad Wemp said this is the first detailed attempt to map the distribution and motion of dark matter in the region around the Milky Way and Andromeda. And co-researcher Professor Amina Helmi, who has worked on this problem for years, said she was thrilled to see that galaxy motions alone could reveal the mass distribution shaping our local cosmic neighborhood.
What I find incredible about this is that we're essentially embedded in a cosmic structure we couldn't see. The Milky Way isn't floating freely in space. It's sitting on a vast flat sheet of dark matter surrounded by emptiness on either side, in equilibrium.
It's like being a grain of sand on a giant cosmic beach and only just realizing the beach exists. The paper is published in Nature Astronomy, and we expect it to generate significant follow-up work as astronomers look to confirm the structure with additional observations.
Amazing. What a lineup for episode 60.
And that's our show for today. Let's do a quick recap of what we covered.
NASA discovered a neutron star collision in a tiny galaxy buried in a gas stream. The first time this has been seen in such an unlikely location.
The Artemis II Flight Readiness Review is happening tomorrow. We're watching closely ahead of the April launch window.
Firefly Alpha's Stairway to 7 mission is still on hold after a third scrub. A new launch date will be announced after engineering review.
DART mission data revealed the first ever direct visual proof of material transfer between two asteroids, the most gentle cosmic snowball fight you can imagine.
SpaceX is about 4 weeks from launching Starship Flight 12, the first flight of the more powerful V3 configuration.
And astronomers have discovered a vast flat sheet of dark matter surrounding our local group, finally explaining why nearby galaxies behave the way they do.
As always, you can find us at astronomydaily.io and on all major podcast platforms. Show notes, episode archive, and more are all there for you.
If you're enjoying the show, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share us with a fellow space enthusiast. It means the world to us and genuinely helps the show grow.
We'll be back tomorrow with more from the universe. Until then, keep looking up.
Clear skies, everyone.